casi ayer. Nunca me voy a imaginar que va a ser tan cruel.
One of the most curious actions is currently taking place in Scotland, where Rolls-Royce workers are letting the engines of Chilean hawker hunters rust in the back of the factory.
It was a moral stand that was taken.
I couldn't support or do anything that would help that type of government. I'm Bob Fulton, yes.
When you start with a war story, you're done with the war story. Just a minute, what are you doing before 8 o'clock?
When I was a kid, we used to go to Solidarity Night, and I remember in Scotland they always mention the hawker hunter is stuck in a factory because of overproduction. The idea to me that somebody had mentioned defeaters planes, that was incredible. I just want to know what's true.
That's what I believed in. Dictatorship was a red flag to a rule with me.
Nadie conoce esa historia. Hay que buscar las personas que intervinieron ahí.
Jamás escuché la palabra derechos humanos.
Comentábamos muchas veces que somos seres olvidados del mundo.
Can I just say it's worth people knowing that that was crowdfunded for. So Felipe was just made a 12-minute film, and then he crowdfunded to get the film to make it all, and then BBC Scotland stepped in and supported. So it's an amazing piece of work. BBC Scotland, yeah, which I think I'm told by reliable sources is quite different. Quite different from what we know.
Very good shop stewards, man. In those days,
Very moving, actually.
It was a stroke of luck.
The student union was doing some work in the building. There was a door open where it was covered by the construction company.
There was a little door in this big fake wall, and the door was open just by chance. It was open, and yes, I went inside.
But he saw a Chilean flag at the end, and he asked if he could go and see it because he was surprised to see a Chilean flag there.
The upper part, the mural, was quite well conserved, but the lower part was almost destroyed. So the upper part is where the Chilean flag is. And when I saw the Chilean flag,
and he asked what was going to happen. They said that they were going to cover it because it was painted on a proper wall that it couldn't be destroyed, so it couldn't take it down. So it was going to be there, but covered by plaster or something.
and then we thought, hey, we have to do something with it. We have to find out what happened, why this mural is here, and maybe think of conservation or at least to stop the war.
So this friend straight away got in touch with Pedro, and Pedro got in touch with me, and then we started the campaign.
We don't know why this is here, but this is a political mural from Chile. Chile, is it? Why is it? This is what I want to know. We want to find out why it's here, how is it here.
My name is Gilberto Hernandez. I'm also from Valparaiso, port in the center of Chile. I did arrive in Leeds in 1974, October 74.
My name is Eduardo Espinosa. I come from the city of Iquique. Iquique is the second port from north to south in Chile. We are next to the Atacama Desert. I came to Leeds January 76.
In the late 1960s, Chile was a hugely unequal society, and foreign, mainly US corporations, owned and profited from most of Chile's vast copper resources. An alliance of left-wing parties, Popular Unity, was formed, with Salvador Allende as the presidential candidate. A vibrant campaign for radical change led to Allende's election victory in 1970, and a fantastic opportunity to create a new Chile. In just 3 years, Allende's progressive government achieved a great deal, nationalising the copper resources and investing the profits in social programmes, such as free health and education, land for peasant farmers, free school milk for every child, jobs for all, house building with strictly controlled rents, and much, much more. Chile was on the path towards a more equal society. But there were powerful forces opposing Allende. The wealthy used their economic power to undermine the government, creating food shortages and even terrorist assassinations. On the 11th of September 1973, Chile's military, under General Pinochet, launched a brutal coup, resulting in Allende's death and the destruction of everything Popular Unity stood for. Thousands of activists were rounded up, tortured, disappeared, murdered. Thousands more were imprisoned and held in secret concentration camps. And all this was supported by US and other Western governments. Later, tens of thousands of Chileans were expelled from the prison to go into forced exile. From 1975, around 3,000 Chileans were invited to come and live in Britain by the then Labour government. Many to continue their studies at British universities in Leeds, Birmingham, Sheffield, etc. This generation of Chilean exiles, including Gilberto and Eduardo, were to have a profound effect on British society, politics, and culture.
The mural I recognized because these kind of murals were painted during Allende's campaign in the 70s. And these kind of murals were also used as a propaganda for Allende's government. And during the dictatorship, were also used as a resistance.
Yeah, that was probably, I mean, in my opinion, it was part of the educational program that Allende's government had planned. Groups from different parties and of different organizations had their own idea of how to publicize the work that they were doing. And one of them was to paint murals all over the country. Wherever there was this blank space, they could use it.
You paint murals there at the size of the building's facade, and we're talking from 3 stories building to 20 stories building, and that basically changes not only the building but the nearest environment of the building, and it becomes part of space. It becomes your space. The artwork is your space. All the visual elements of the artwork, have an impact on the day-to-day experience and what is the space itself. And it builds a different identity within the space and within, the inhabitants of the space.
One of the most famous groups was the Brigada Ramona Parra. And you could see that the mural we have here at the university is very similar to the ones that this brigada painted throughout the country. It was mainly to publicize what the people were doing, or promote or ask people to do something, like going out in the street to support the government, support education, everything what the program was in the Popular Unity.
I was very familiar with this because this kind of muralism was produced in my city as a form of resistance, both in the university campus, for example, and in the poorest areas.
They were very political as well. They didn't have much time to do a very nice mural because they were persecuted. They had to go out at night and they only had probably 10-15 minutes to do it and then run away. But sometimes they were destroyed overnight and then these people then came back the next day and recycled it. But they were very, very good quality, and now you can see it on the internet, the quality, and there are records now on books where you can see the quality of this mural.
If you put a message, a clear message through a mural on that size, it's also it's a language that is so powerful. It's almost like standing on the rooftop and screaming in a very beautiful way.
My recollection of the mural, of my own participation of the mural, is very, very vague because it's been such a long time. It was from a poster that we had used for the campaign, for the Solidarity campaign. I don't know whether it was an English or a Chilean person who painted it, but we all contributed to the painting.
How did I get involved? As I always get involved in things here, I get a phone call from Gilberto, and he said, there is this we need to do.
It was probably a collaboration with the student union, because at the time they were quite sympathetic to our story.
And there we were, painting. I'm not an artist, I've never been. We thought, this is good. It's good because we're showing something from Chile. We're giving back to the university.
I wasn't an artist at all. I mean, they were just helping to paint. Yeah, I think probably was my first experience of taking a brush.
It used to be in the refectory, and I think that's what's the important part. The student be able to appreciate that some Chilean students of the university, because that was what it was, put something for them which it wasn't just a painting, expressing the culture of Chile, what we were aiming in Chile, that there will be work for everybody, there will be education for everybody. Yeah.
And then we started a campaign to actually restore it, and we got in touch with a few people, apart from the student union, with Robert from Fine Arts, and we applied for a grant from the lottery fund, and we got an artist to do the restoring.
We talked about the fact that they really want the mural to be restored, and obviously I was standing there saying, well, actually the style and technique is quite familiar to me, and I'm quite happy to actually help you. Yeah, there was the decision has been done collaboratively with the university union people. So me, Robert, and Max talked about what is the best way of restoring it. What is the best way of restoring not only the mural, but also the message and the history of the mural? So the debate was, shall we restore the whole of the mural, or shall we leave some parts of it for others to see how it was degraded, and how it became, restored? As an artist, and looking from aesthetic point of view, I said the best way would be to restore the whole mural and leave the surface as the reminder of what happened to it. And I think it's been agreed with others, and during the restoration process, it became more and more clear it was a good decision, as the whole Chilean community and the original painters of the murals were so keen to restore it and so proud of the mural that at the end they chosen me to restore it, and it's been a great honor.
Mural de Brigadas is produced collectively. So it's open to everyone to come, paint, clean the brushes and give some food, and that's it. You just need one more or less expert person, and the rest common people painting and that's it.
We got an artist to do the restoring, and in the end we did exactly the same what we did before. We asked all the Chileans and all the people who were interested to come and help to paint.
So this is how a mural is properly produced. So after we got the money, I insisted that the production, the very restoration should be done collectively. So my contribution to the project was insisting that this has to be a collective work. Otherwise, this is not a.
It took precisely 9 days, and in terms of difficulties, I think the main thing was to design a really good plan of action. What you want to do step by step. The mural was in quite a bad state, and you had layers of different paint, and the raw wall coming through. So you have to be quite precise what you want to do and what is the outcome you're going to achieve. And so the very next very challenging bit was to precisely match the color. And the next difficult bit was to restore the right-hand side part of the mural, which was missing the majority part of the female figure. And there was not that many images I could refer to directly with a precise scale, so it was just drawing myself and finding the correct scale, but just trial and error really. It's not only the mural and the actual artwork that has been restored, but it's also its message.
I was quite happy that contributed to something that is going to be there for quite a number of years.
Also, the importance of working together and putting a massive effort.
Well, I learned a lot about muralism. I did not. I mean, I knew that it was there. It was important, but that's it. You know about this style, what the specific style of the Chilean mural is.
I think it shows resilience of people and communities and how important the message is.
Something to live for the future, I suppose. Yeah.
Personally, I learned to be a lobbyist.
The original painters who painted the mural before, they were so passionate about the message, but at the same time, they were in such a difficult position, taken away from the home. And I think what it achieved is the fact that someone's passion will always be there, no matter where you take this person away from, it will always be there.
The legacy is some students came from Chile once upon a time. They were refugees, and it was there for everybody to appreciate. We leave you with the painting from all our heart.
Campesinos, soldados, mineros,